The cabbage is nearly ahead when the caterpillars find it. They hatch in a yellow cluster on the underside of an outer leaf and move inward together, 40 of them, eating shoulder to shoulder in a line that widens as they grow. Within days, they are through the outer leaves and into the packed heart of the plant, where the tissue is pale, soft, and folded tight. They eat in the dark between the layers. Behind them, the tunnels fill with wet green frass, packed hard against the leaf walls, and the head begins to sour from the inside. From outside, the plant still looks whole. Every leaf it will ever make is already inside, and the caterpillars are standing in it. It has tried everything. Cabbage tissue is loaded with glucosinolates, harmless while the cells are intact, and stored apart from the enzyme that activates them. The moment a mandible breaks a cell, the two mix and detonate. Mustard oils, sharp and toxic, released exactly where the damage is. It is one of the fastest chemical defenses in the plant world. The caterpillars carry a protein in their gut that intercepts the reaction and steers it toward a harmless product instead, and they eat the poison as though it were sugar. Some of them store it and become unpalatable themselves. The plant floods more tissue and loses more tissue. Its outer leaves hang shredded and skeletal. The heart is a cavity, but the caterpillars refuse to leave. Finally, a signal gets out. Where the mandibles cut, the wounded cabbage releases a plume of volatiles into the air above the field. And it is not a general smell of damage. It is specific to this caterpillar, and it travels. A parasitoid wasp, black and barely 3 millimeters long, picks it up from downwind and follows it in. Cotesia glomerata has been on this plant's side for longer than the field has existed, and it has no interest in cabbage at all. It lands on a shredded outer leaf, walks in through the gap, and starts hunting through the frass. It finds the largest caterpillar and does not hesitate. The ovipositor goes in through the side, and this time it is not one egg. It is 30, delivered in a few seconds, injected together with a virus the wasp carries in her own body for exactly this purpose, to disable the caterpillar's immune defenses. The caterpillar shrugs and goes back to eating. For 2 weeks, nothing appears to be wrong. It grows, it molts, it feeds, and inside it 30 larvae feed too, taking only what the body can spare. Then on a single morning, they finish. The caterpillar stops and its skin begins to move. "30 larvae chew outward through the body wall at once and emerge along its flanks, pale and blind, and each one immediately begins to spin. Within an hour, the caterpillar is buried under a cluster of bright yellow silk cocoons, packed together like a small hive, and it is still alive. What it does next is the strangest part. It does not crawl away, and it does not die. It spins a sheet of its own silk over the cocoons, arches its body above them, and stays there, striking at anything that approaches. It guards the animals that ate it until it starves. The feeding stops. What is left of the cabbage is an outer frame of ruined leaves around a hollowed center. And from that center, something pale begins to push upward. The growing point survived. New leaves rise into the cavity, unmarked, and fold over one another the way the first ones did. The plant tightens around them. Within 3 weeks, the head is firm again, smaller than it should have been, and scarred at the base, but solid to touch and clean inside. Rain washes the old frass out of the ruined outer leaves, and they drop away, and the plant stands on what it rebuilt. For the cabbage, the growing point is everything. Leaves can be lost, and were. For the wasp, one caterpillar was 30 cradles, and a bodyguard that worked past its own death. For the field, each yellow cluster is a new generation of hunters that will find the next brood before it reaches the heart. Nothing here was rescued. The plant was eaten hollow and survived anyway, because it spent the whole time telling the air exactly what was eating it. In nature's quiet battles, the ones who last are rarely the strongest. They are the ones still standing when help arrives.